Okay, so this video is explaining the Dear Judicial Officer pre-crime orders. So that means anything to do with an intervention order, a family violence order, a apprehended violence order, could be a protection order, anything that's order following where there's someone granting themselves authority to dictate to you what you can and cannot do based on something where there's no evidence of any kind of crime, it's just all hearsay. And that's been allowed to stand as a fact in law, right? That's what this is about, not if you've actually committed any violence against somebody, because that's not going to fly that way. So obviously you do your usual edits as normal. Like it's time to finish off when you've made all your edits. Just highlight the section, just go up here where that underline with the red underneath it is, then just go to automatic, and there you are, you're in black. So I'm just going to put it back. Here we go down to red. And then obviously you're going to move down. This is by recorded post, so you're going to send it registered mail. There's explanation of that in other resources. So just thinking about who you would send this to, be a magistrate if you have the magistrate's name, court registrar, court clerk, could be a judge, could be even a legal team, barrister. You can amend all of it to suit whoever it is you're sending to. So if you look at the first paragraph here, it says, upon reading this letter in its entirety, your name, that's you, do instruct the recipient to pass this letter on to the individual responsible for the issuance of Exhibit 1. So that would be a photocopy of any orders you've been issued with, as no name is provided in the documentation. Now this is structured only for people who don't have a name, right? Where they've been given paperwork but there's no name of who the individual responsible for it is. That's what that's for. If you have a name, then you just write it directly to them, because what I've noticed is that even if you're the CEO of the fake court or someone who's a director of court operations or something like that, they'll say something to the effect of, we can't do anything about it, it comes down to the individual who's initiated it, right? So if that's your case, this opening paragraph is for you. The bulk of this letter is pretty much the same as the Dear Judicial Officer letter. This is just slightly different at the beginning. So here it is, I'm writing to urgently bring your attention to the court orders presented in Exhibit 1. These orders brazenly grant enforceable directives involving violence, forced re-education and labour. Now you need to write your own particular situation here. I'm just giving you the gamut of things that are there. Now forced re-education is things like men's behavioural change programs. Forced labour, obviously, if they're making you clean graffiti or something like that. So this is all violations of individual rights that you can only do to a slave. So it shows you that we've been treated like slaves this whole time. Dispossession, defamation of character, so they'll start calling you names and titling you things like sovereign citizen, for example. You'll be dispossessed of your property, and sometimes you can be placed in confinement. Shockingly, without any evidence of a crime being committed, these orders have subjected me, that's you, to, and then you list what's happened to you, right? These are just some options. Repeated dispossession, dispossessed me, sorry, it's a tongue twister, of property, restricted my freedom to travel and association. So when they put sort of court orders on you, you're not allowed to go, say, to your children's school or their daycare or any other place they associate, sporting clubs, that they just say that you're not allowed anywhere near there, right? So that's your freedom of travel being restricted. Also, your freedom of association, because you're not allowed to associate with your own children, right? And continue to pose an ongoing threat that has forcibly separated me from my children over 12, whatever months it happens to be. So just a number of months here. Some people could be 12 months, could be 3 months, could be 18 months, could be 36. Depends what's happened to your specific situation. The unjust situation has caused immeasurable distress, alarm, and chronic suffering. Okay, so if you want to let an individual know who does these things without thinking deeply about the effect of what they do, by just following orders, because that's what they're told, that's the right thing to do. This is what the purpose of this is to penetrate into their consciousness and let them know the true nature of what the actual lived damage is by what they do on a day-to-day basis just to collect a paycheck. So it's not about you getting a win, or changing their minds or anything like that. It's just about letting them know and having this as evidence. That's pretty much it. So the situation has emerged due to the willful enforcement of immoral, and then you state the name of the specific legislation just keep it in those closed brackets. A concept known as pre-crime, that grants authority to punish individuals for crimes they have not committed. Now that's the same as in the other letters, right? So I don't have to show you anything new there. I just wanted to show you one other aspect that hasn't been covered in previous ones. So it just talks about the 5 points paraphrased in the quoted works that's used as a reference at the end of this, right? So it talks about the true nature of what democracy is supposed to be like, and then at the end you'll just see there's actually references to who it is that you're referring to. So that's pretty much showing that it's not you making it up, that they can find this information. Right? Same thing, you're giving them something that they need to do in order to prove their innocence, that they're not actually committing crimes. And so that's how it finishes off in the end. So that's just a resource, guys, that you can stand in your power and let someone as an individual know about how they're violating your individual rights and the consequences for that.